Hello, my friend, and welcome back to Repurpose Journey. I'm really glad you're here today. I'd like to talk to you about something fun for me. It's entrepreneurship as a path of faith. As many of you might know, my husband and I have been into entrepreneurialism since, 2012 maybe, so a few years. We've done a lot of different things, and today I just wanted to share with you a little something about it. So if you found yourself building something on your own, whether a business, a creative project, or a small idea you barely have enough time to name, this episode is for you. Entrepreneurship is often talked about in terms of metrics and goals, growth, and strategies. But today I want to talk to you about it a little differently. I want to talk about entrepreneurship as a path of faith. Not faith in outcomes and not faith in side hustle, but faith in slow, steady work of showing up when the path isn't clear. Many people come to entrepreneurship not because they want to chase success, but because something inside them won't let them stay where they are. A desire to create, a nudge to contribute, a longing to use their gifts in a meaningful way. Often, it doesn't feel dramatic, it feels persistent. The nudge is worth paying attention to. Scripture reminds us that we are each given gifts, not to hide, but to steward. Entrepreneurship is, at its best, an act of stewardship, caring for what God has placed in your hands and offering it humbly to the world. One of the hardest parts of entrepreneurship is not knowing if anyone will buy it, not knowing if this idea matters, and not knowing if you're doing it right. Faith begins where certainty ends. Entrepreneurship requires us to move forward without guarantees, to plant seeds before we see results, and to trust that obedience matters even when validation is delayed. God often gives us clarity one step at a time, and not the whole map. And that can be deeply uncomfortable, but it's also deeply formative. Entrepreneurship invites us to confront our need for control. We want certainty. We want systems that guarantee outcomes. We want schedules that feel safe. But growth, spiritual and personal, rarely come from control. It comes from surrender. That doesn't mean abandoning wisdom or planning. It means holding both loosely and remembering who is ultimately in charge. Many entrepreneurs unknowingly turn their work into a source of salvation. Being successful will make them secure. Faith genuinely reminds us our worth isn't earned through productivity, our identity isn't found in revenue, and our peace doesn't depend on performance. There are long stretches of entrepreneurship that can feel quiet. You show up, you work faithfully, you don't see immediate fruit. These seasons can feel discouraging, especially when others seem to speed past you. But waiting is not wasted. Scripture is filled with stories of waiting, often where God did the deepest work. In entrepreneurship, waiting teaches us perseverance, humility, trust. It reveals what we believe when no one is watching. Faith grows in the in-between. Faith invites us to ask different questions about success. Not just, did it grow? Did it scale? Did it sell? But also, did it serve? Did it harm? Did it reflect honesty and integrity? Did it leave room for rest and relationship? Entrepreneur shaped by faith prioritizes alignment over applause. A small, sustainable, value-driven business can be far more faithful than the fast-growing one that costs you your peace. Anything can be an idol, even meaningful work. Entrepreneurship becomes unhealthy when it demands everything from you: our energy, our joy, our family, our Sabbath. Faith-centered work holds boundaries. It says, I will work diligently, but I will also rest. I will invest deeply, but I will not sacrifice my soul. And I will build responsibly, but I will trust God with the outcome. This kind of entrepreneurship is slower, but it's lasting. You don't need perfect clarity to begin. You don't need to know how the story ends. God often asks us to offer what we have today, our skills, our time, our creativity, our faithfulness, and trust He will multiply it as needed. Entrepreneurship becomes an act of worship when we offer our work back to God, open-handed, not clinging, not striving, just faithful. If you're walking the path of entrepreneurship and it feels uncertain, tiring, or lonely at times, remember this: you're not behind, and you're not failing, and you're not unseen. Faithful work, especially slow, unseen work, matters deeply. Thank you for your courage to create and share with the world. Thank you for your willingness to trust, and thank you for walking this path with honesty. Until next time, my friend, may you find peace, purpose, and joy right where you are.